Hi, I'm Mark and this is Ford Paint Fabrication. Today we're going to get back on that 1954 F100 pickup, the Ford pickup for a friend of mine. He's got a show in a few days and I want to get this thing knocked out and so we can get it detailed out and get it ready for the show. The passenger side window is not rolling up and down very well. We already got the brakes done, the brake booster and the master cylinder, so I just need to knock this out and you can have the truck back. So let's jump on this thing and get it busted out right away. Okay, we need to pull these handles off, get into this door panel, and figure out why this window doesn't want to go up and down very easily. So over the years, I've bought a lot of different tools to pop door panels and get clips off. These are for removing the door handles. They push the clips off the back. These are for going underneath, clips sliding underneath instead of just using a putty knife. The same similar items here and here. I've got a few more in the drawer over there, but you can never have enough of these kind of things, whether it's a flat screwdriver or a putty knife. You just got to take your time and figure out where all the clips are and don't force anything. Make sure you found all the screws and kind of figure it out. If you've had the door panel off before, it's real easy. If you haven't, then you really have to hunt around to make sure you're not going to break anything while you're doing it. Luckily, on later model cars, I have a tray full of the clips that tend to bust when you pop one off. So in this case, this one will take the door handles off, the window crank and the door handle, and then this panel will pop off if I remember correctly. Then there's some screws along here and then some clips along the perimeter, and we'll get this off and then we'll see what's going on with this window. The channel or one of the rollers is obviously messed up, maybe out of adjustment or just needs to be lubed. So we'll see once we get in there what we need to do. So let me get to work on getting these handles off, and then we'll see what's going on inside. Okay, we'll start by getting these door panels off, or these door handles, excuse me. Figure out where the clips are. There we go. It's just a funny shaped clip. I usually like to put them in from this direction so I can just pop it from that side, but either way. So all the way these work is they just pop in there spring loaded, put it back in like it was, and these pop down inside grooves in there, and then it acts like a spring. Get that back out. And it acts like a spring when it's down inside there. Put this down. So it just pops just like that, and those two little ears right there are actually what hold the door handle on. So this one's a little sprung right there, so I'm going to tighten it up before I put it back together. But that tool actually just opens that up and pops it off, and then it pulls it right off the splines there. There's a little groove there that these fit down inside of, and that's it. Pretty simple. This one, we're going to have to figure out which way the clip's facing. A lot of times you got to push in on the door panel at the same time to find that groove. And then I see the clip there, it looks like. I need to come this way. Okay, after a little bit of fiddling, finally got it pushed out of there. This one, the groove is very, very tight. It's right inside there. I don't think you guys can see that. Maybe you can. But it was right up against there, so it was real hard to get the tool in there with the pressure on the upholstery pushing out. It's very padded right here. So we put those back in. We'll make sure they're done right. couple of Phillips screws over here. And I think that's it. So let me get a screwdriver. We're going to pop this this plate loose right here. Pretty sure it's attached to it, or maybe not. I think it just pops into it. Yep, yeah, it just pops into it. So we get my tools underneath here. This one's kind of nice because you can work up underneath. Once you get it underneath there, you just slide along, and it gives you a lot of reach to pop the clips and stay away from the paint, which this one's very nicely painted on the inside. He had it pinstriped after I painted it, and it's really nice. A lot of times I'll wrap these things with tape or something to try to make sure that I protect it. And we're just going to work our way down, watching the panel, make sure it doesn't the clips don't come back. And hit the paint. So I think I can get my hand in here now and just pop it right off. So these are the spring clips that just pop in the holes. The hardest part on these usually is getting them lined back up with the holes to pop them back in. So we'll make sure these aren't sprung and going to hold that in there nice and tight when we put it back together. Okay, this one, the lower door panel has clips around it. I remember having this off multiple times. This should actually be slid underneath there, right there. I'm probably going to take that loose. That belongs underneath. There's a little ledge there. I'm not sure quite why they don't have it underneath, but I'll go ahead and fix that. And then we'll figure out what's going on inside. I did do a wind wing delete on this truck. So it used to have a wind wing right here, and then I cut all that out and put the kit in with a solid piece of glass. So I'm familiar with these doors, probably too familiar with them, doing all that work on them. So let me grab a Phillips screwdriver. We're going to pop this off, get these screws out, and then and see what's going on. Okay. Normally this would be under. It goes under and then it pulls over and holds it. So I do know my buddy actually had this panel off and put a new window crank regulator in here. So maybe when they put it back together they didn't get that underneath there. Let's take these screws out. I'll run my hand around the bottom, make sure there's no other clips with a screw on it or something that I can't get. And then we're going to pop the handle down in here. And I can feel they're the same type of clips that were on the other one. Then we just pull this out. I try to do the bottom before all the top so it doesn't fall down on me. So I'm going to jump in front of this camera here real quick and we're just going to pop these out. Just got to find them carefully. Just like that. Door panel's off. So a pretty cool design on here. It's got a faux alligator on here with a nice bump out with making the door handle. So it's pretty neat. The upholsterer did a really great job. He didn't use cheap cardboard either. Got some Luan plywood on the back for all the clips. Thoroughly stapled and glued. So yeah, it's a really nice job. Okay, so first thing I like to do when you're trying to figure these windows out that aren't operating properly is look down in the bottom of the door for parts or pieces or something that doesn't belong there. So looking down in here, I really don't, I don't see anything. It's really pretty clean. He keeps this truck very nice. So I don't see any rollers or wheels or pieces of felt from a guide. So we're going to roll it up and down a couple of times here and see if we can see what's going on. Feels goes down pretty easy, goes up kind of clunky. So I'm going to take a look and see if we can see what's going on. Could be the new regulator isn't that great. Maybe it needs to be lubed. Maybe there's something bent or bound on it. So I'm gonna stick my head up in here and we'll figure out what's going on. Okay, remember when I told you to look down inside the door? Well, when I look down in there, see if I can get a shot of this. See that white stuff right there? I didn't think anything of it. Then I look right here, and here's some sound deadening insulation. And then, let me get this light set here. And then if you look right here, you can see up in here, it's been pulled into the roller on the window crank guide. So I'm thinking that that roller right there is full of that stuff, and it's some sort of cloth, woven cloth. So I'm going to roll that over and dig that out a little bit. I'll roll the window up, see if we can't trim that that sound deadening material back. The door got close to it, caught the foil, and then caught the, let me get the light in there, caught the fibers and just wound it right inside there. So on the way down, it's easy because gravity's helping you, but on the way up, that roller does a lot more work, obviously. So let me roll this thing up a little bit and try to clean that roller out, and then trim that stuff back and see if that if the door gets any easier to roll up. Okay, for sure that thing's been coming up. You can see where it's hooked it and pulled it up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a knife and I'm going to cut this back. It's also happening over here where the other roller is. That window comes down at an angle because of the shape of the window channel. And then that's the closest point it gets to this. So I'm going to go ahead and trim this back quite a bit and then double check the clearance. I'm going to roll it down and try to clean those rollers out of those the goop out of those channels. These fibers and stuff, it's some sort of fiberglass material. And that could ball up that roller real easy. So I'm going to go ahead and dig into this a little bit more, and then we'll see what we can do. And then hopefully that was it's going to be a super simple fix, and then we can get this door panel back on, and that'll be it for this thing. Okay, I think I got this one whipped. Found the culprit, all right, culprits, I guess. The rollers were catching on some sound deadening material on the door skin here, and some of it got wound around one of the rollers up inside there. And also one of the rollers was broken that goes through the door guides, window guide for the regulator to pop into. So and they're nylon, and one of them's broken. So the old ones, original ones, were metal. The new ones are plastic, nylon, and they're supposed to glide nicer. I don't know if they do or don't, but they certainly break a lot easier than the metal ones. So I loaded a new one. The owner's here. He brought some spare parts he had, luckily. And so we got that on there, got it lubed up real good, lubed up the regulator, window regulator. We've rolled it up and down. He's happy, I'm happy. I think it works really good. So we're just gonna, all we have to do is button this thing up, and then we're done. Now these rollers are really hard to put in if you try to assemble them inside on the door channel glide. So you can actually load this in advance outside of the vehicle, put the clip in, compress the spring, put the clip in, and then pull back and give yourself a gap, and then slide that onto the channel. And then it's just a matter of lining up the window regulator arm and sliding it through, and you push till you hear a click, and you're good to go. So I'm pretty happy with the way it came out. All we have to do is put the door panels back on, and this job's done. Okay, that's a wrap on the door window for that pickup. We got it figured out what was going on, and it's rolling up and down really well, so he can have his truck back. Thanks for joining me here at Foothill Paint Fabrication. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and hit the like button, and leave me a comment. I'd love to hear from you.